Hey folks, I want to take a few minutes to demo this beautiful Pioneer PL-530. So the PL-530 was available by Pioneer from about 1976 to 1978, and it represented kind of the entry point of their top of the line. So they offered a number of turntables, and at the top of the range were three tables: the PL-530, which is this one. It's fully automatic, direct drive, and servo controlled. Then you had the PL-550, which was fully manual, and then finally the PL-570, which was again fully automatic, but more electronic control of the mechanism as well as quartz lock. So the standout feature of the PL-530 is really the looks. And let's just start. So uh, just before I lift the cover, just one thing to note: if you've got the original cover in good condition, you can always tell that because it has the badge right here, and it's kind of reverse of this nameplate. So silver on black versus black on silver. So as we lift the dust cover, you can see really those things that make this such a standout turntable from standpoint of looks. I mean, first of all, you're from kind of the peak of this vintage turntable era in the late 70s. So turntables, are just that's when you get your really best looking vintage turntables, and this is one of the best of the best. So few standout things is the aluminum trim plate all across the front, and that's solid thick aluminum. I mean, the thickness you see is the thickness throughout. The lettering is all beautiful, and this one is perfect. So everything is intact. You have another trim plate here, and then a great looking tone arm, metal tone arm with the lateral balance. So just great looking combination of brushed and polished finishes. So fantastic looking turntable. Then we get to the platter. So oversized platter. This one's in great shape. Sometimes you'll see they'll get a fair amount of oxidation here along the edges. If you ever see it polished to a shiny finish here, it means it was heavily oxidized. The finish should be kind of a brushed aluminum matte finish, as well as across these strobe indicators. This one also retains its original matte, great condition, as well as the inset trim ring here. So I know we were talking about kind of the beauty of this turntable in general, and obviously all these controls, nice brushed aluminum with concentric circles across the top, nice middle levers. It's just fantastic looking turntable. And then all that sits on a veneered plinth. So originally be veneered in a vinyl, which is prone to damage and lifting at the corners and such. And the challenge with veneer is when it's perfect, it looks great, but doesn't really take on a patina like real wood. So this one has been re-veneered in this flat sawn oak. So the flat, you can see the grain is very even throughout, and also it took the trouble to match the grain from the top to the front as well as the front to wrap around the side. So really great looking look in this veneer. And just a note, when I restore a turntable, although I certainly could, my goal is I don't really like to start with a beater unit. I'm looking to start with something that's been well taken care of, that's in good condition, and then bring it up to really bring it up to the highest standards. And that's what you see here. So we talked a lot about the looks, but the PL-530 is also a very good performing table as well. So direct drive motor, so you get very stable speed performance. Individual control with 33 or 45, servo control, so for accurate speed. And the tone arm is a very good high quality tone arm. So the tone arm was essentially shared across that top end of the range, although it was made a little bit longer in the PL-570. Essentially the tone arm was identical across the range. And the other thing is that it does have fully automatic operation. And as you'll see, the operation it's essentially fully mechanical. It uses its own motor, so the motor is separate from the platter motor, so there's no influence on the audio quality. as it's playing. And but you can see that you get that sense of that mechanical operation as it's moving across to the record. Okay, so we talked a lot about the plinth being re-veneered. Hand applied finish, so I put 10 coats of a really natural hand applied and rubbed wax finish. So wonderful, smooth, nice soft glow, not shiny, but nice soft glow and smooth feel. Just a few things, normal stuff like deoxit of the pots, centering of the controls, lubrication of the motor spindle. A couple things maybe not typically done is recap, replacing all the electrolytic capacitors. I'm pointing here because there's a power supply board as well as a servo control board. And this table has relatively little electronics, so it's mostly mechanically controlled. But the electronics it does have, those have been addressed. Another thing I'd say is a common thing that I think is important to do is the tone arm base and the base, the tone arm as well as the platter ride on a metal sub-chassis. So suspended from the plinth internally there's a metal sub-chassis, and that gives it some isolation. It's fairly firmly suspended, but it is sprung. I don't know if you can see that on the video. But where the tone arm base attaches to the sub-chassis is prone to cracking. So we reinforce the tone arm with epoxy down at the base, which just helps to ensure good performance as well as reliability over time. So really, anything that needed to be done, or should be done, or could be done to make this a top performer and reliable unit has been addressed. In this time, the top turntables at this time always have metal hinges, or typically that's what I see. So you got metal hinges as well. So no issues with hinges. With that, let's go ahead and do a demo. Let's just look, see my amp is still on. And let's just review the controls really quickly. So you have your speed control, 30, 45, 33, individual, variable speed adjustment there. There's your strobe, start and stop. This is your record size selector, or you can go into fully manual mode. I'll try to remember to demo that as well. A manual cue, which is separate from the automatic cue, and then a repeat. I'll demo the repeat as well. So glad I took a look. Let's go back to 12, cueing down, and let's start the table. So one advantage of everything being addressed from the mechanical standpoint, the full mechanism was fully removed, disassembled, cleaned, lubricated, adjusted. So you get accurate and reliable performance, repeatable over and over. So again, our goal here is not really to demo the audio performance because you're listening through my camera's microphone, but it does have very nice, very good audio performance. Okay, let's demo the cue. So the manual cue is separate from the automatic cue. So that's been redamped with a highly viscous silicone oil. And just if we note the descent, smooth. One thing to note is you generally want to target 1 to 2 seconds on your descent of your cue. I think there's a bit of a myth that's slower is better. Once you get to 3 or 4 seconds, not only does it take a long time, but you can imagine the needle coming down so slowly and starting to skip across the tops of the grooves as it makes that final bit of descent. So 1 to 2 seconds is what you really want to target there. Smooth but not too slow. Let's go really towards the end here. Let's put it on repeat. So we'll watch the pickup at the end and then the repeat. So the service manual has about 3 pages. of adjustments, all mechanical adjustments. One is relating to that alignment of the lead-in position. Most of them are related to the pickup at the end, which needs to be finely adjusted so that the pickup has no impact on your audio performance, and you're well outside of the audio band when your tone arm picks up rather. So all that's been addressed with this table. All right, so if you press stop, it cancels the repeat, and then you watch the tone arm lift and go back accurately to its rest. And let's do manual mode. So manual mode is pretty simple. You put it in manual, press start, and then the platter comes on. But now you need to cue manually. Now it will lift at the end. It'll lift and return at the end, so you don't have to worry about, if you forget about it or fall asleep. It's manual, but not 100% manual. All right. So then if you're in manual mode, again, you want to cue up and return. Then you press stop to turn off the table, and you'll see when the light goes out, it's off. Okay, with that, let's just demo size. So we got 7, 10, and 12. Let's press start, and we'll just watch it go to the 7-inch position. Well, we had it queued up. So remember I said the manual cue is independent of the automatic cue, so if you have it up, it's going to stay up. So let's go ahead and let it down. It's the position you would be in if you were playing a 7-inch record. And at any point you can press stop, and it'll pick up and repeat. Pick up and return. Okay? So with that, let's call that the end, and you have a great day. Thank you.